Hi all. Right, haven't been away long since the last uh, episode and just uploading it just now to you. I did just bash on and upload it. There was a few things I want to discuss and a couple of things I've missed, a couple of errors. I've not mentioned them in the comments, I just thought I'll upload it. There's nothing major that affects things. I have also come across a little bit of a chink in the armour, if you like, regarding combat tactics on the army card. Not regarding the previous one about low supply units benefiting. I'll get to that anyway. It kind of clashes with an answer we got from John Butterfield as well. So I'll let you know what that is. Quite interesting anyway, unless I'm having another dumb moment. Which there is one to talk about within this as well. Nothing that I actually done, but why I was thinking it. However, okay, I've got a wee list of them here. First of all was the Piper's movement. Yeah, the first one, regarding the Piper's movement, he was here. I counted out properly at first by counting 2 into this hex, because it's broken. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then extending it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and that's as far as you could go. So that's I counted out at first. So I actually moved it. When I moved it, I actually counted 1 into here rather than the 2. But it wouldn't have mattered. We would have still ended up in the same hex. But I just noticed I had I forgot about the broken hex when I actually went to move them. No big deal with that one though. They're maybe not all in the best order, these. The other one was the unit that was here that was in low supply hadn't moved. He just stood there. He wasn't able to move movement method 1. Then when it came round to checking for his supply status, he was in supply where he is, just by jumping over the river onto the road. So he didn't actually make a movement, so he should have built an IP, I believe, in that hex, and there we go, stretching over up the top of the table again. So the other guys that moved into that hex, would have benefited from that, because he just sat there, he would have built an IP, they moved into the hex. Yeah. Okay, so kind of missed that one though. Right, and like I said, they're not in the best order, these, because this happened first. This unit was in here, or was he? Oh, it was the bracketed unit that was in there, Grant. Okay, maybe I do have this wrong. Give me a sec. Yeah, okay, I'm getting muddled up myself here. I thought it was that unit, but that unit had moved from here across the river, and it was the bracketed unit that was in there. So him moving across there from the river, that was fine. But it does turn out that the bracketed unit, let me just double check that. Yeah, so it was a bracketed unit I moved wrong, because I moved him into here as well. 1 hex closer to his army objective, but it was 2 movement to move into there, breaking zone of control. And I knew I couldn't get into here because that was an R2 movement to get in the forest. There's no road going into there. So I knew I couldn't go into there, and for some reason I didn't consider I'm moving into here or even here. At the moment he's 3 away from his army objective. If he moves in here, here or here, which he can reach, he's 2 away from his army objective. Now both these hexes would be westernmost to this, so they would take priority. Now the priority before that is the 3-to-1 advantage on, because he is going to be moving adjacent to an allied unit. Now if he moves into this hex, there is, now hang on, at that time, is there potentially a 3-to-1 advantage? Would you still consider assault coordination at that time? Hang on. Well, actually it doesn't look like you would, because it says Um, Obviously, if more than one hex is closer to the objective, move to a hex adjacent to an allied unit again, switch. The moving unit has a combat strength advantage of at least 3 to 1. Including this calculation, all German units adjacent to the target. Oh yeah, no, it does take that into account because it's saying all units adjacent to the target. Okay, so I will have to have a little bit of a look at that then. Okay, this has brought up another wee interesting thing, I think. We can't just go on with the game, eh? Right, so, like I've said, this guy, he could go here or here. To be honest, that's the hexes that want to go, even if he's not getting a 3 to 1 advantage against either of these guys. But let's just say he moved there. Now, it says to include all the units adjacent. It doesn't, you know, when you're checking for that, included in this calculation, all German units adjacent to the target, all active units in the reserve units box, and all active on-map units proximate to the target that have not yet moved. So, here's the thing though. Oh, I mean, first of all, even just reading that bit's got me thrown as well. All active units in the reserve units box. So, whether they can be placed or not, it's not saying, you know, you think it would say all active units that were able to be placed adjacent to that unit in the reserve units box, because otherwise there's no point counting them. And in actual fact, I think we would have that situation there, wouldn't we, where there's no reserves can actually be placed, but it doesn't really say that. All active units in the reserve units box. So it doesn't say that. And here's the main thing that got me going here is this unit's only one step bracketed unit, so he can't initiate an attack on that. Anyway, am I missing something here? So if he was to move to there, then yes, there's 10 strength in there. And there's 11 strength. I mean, okay. What we got in there though? We've got 7, haven't we? So we need to get to 21. So that's 11. And there's 7 points in the reserve units box. That's 18. And at the time I moved that unit, now hang on, he would have been one of the last units to move, wouldn't he? Because he's 36. So there's probably no other active units that would have been able to move. So what did I say? 11 and 7, that's 18, isn't 21. So we don't have a 3 to 1 advantage in that. But I'm just curious, because he couldn't initiate an attack check anyway there. So that looks like there's something missing. Why is it just me? I mean, I'm able to move that bracketed unit, yeah. I'm trying to move him closer to his army objective. It doesn't mention bracketed units or anything, does it? Not that I can see. No. So, okay, so he's not getting the 3 to 1 advantage there. However, if he was down here, he's got a 2 underneath him, a 2 there, so that's 5, 10. Now, hang on. Some of these units moved, didn't they? Yeah, that's Ufe, isn't it? Oh dear. Well, I thought this was going to be nice and simple. So there was no units in Ufe, or no German units anyway, so it would only be 5, 10, and then if we count the 7 in the reserve units box, no, that's 14, right? You couldn't get a 3 to 1 advantage there either then. So couldn't get a 3 to 1 advantage in either of these hexes. They're both the same distance to the army objective, which is 1 hex closer than where he started from. And they're both western, so after western it goes northern. So I think in actual fact he should have moved into there. That is right, there's western and northern that. Furthest in the compass direction, then to the northernmost. So yeah, curious to know A couple of things there though, guys. One, when I've been moving this unit, the fact that I've just said that we may well have had a 3-to-1 advantage on that, does that come into the equation here if he can't be classed as a wage unit? You know, if there was another unit that was there already that could be the wage unit, then yeah, I could see it, but that wasn't going to be the case. I mean, and the other thing, when you're checking for reserve units in the reserve units box for this 3-to-1 procedure, do the reserve units need to have a hex where they can go adjacent to that unit that they're allowed to be deployed in? Because it doesn't really mention that within the thing. You would think you should be looking into that, but it doesn't say anything about that. It just says active reserve units. Okay, so I think that's where that guy should go. And let's say if any of you want to comment on the two things, that would be great. Yeah, this one, I'm not going to kind of rewind because this unit moved. He advanced in, after combat into there. We'll get to that in a minute. But he was in here. And when I was contemplating the check either here or here, I didn't consider the reserves because we would have got reserves round these two units. We would have been able to bring in that 7 strength of reserves. But I did count up the numbers and the odds were still better attacking Ufe. So, but it was just to let you know that I didn't consider this hex. I didn't even give it a look, but I never thought about the 7 strength of reserve units. Because remember, the reserves couldn't come in on the attack on Ufe, but they would have been able to come in they would have been able to deploy in this hex, or even that hex, you know, to make the attack there. But I did work out the numbers, and the numbers were still better than Ufe. And it was funny when I was looking at it, I thought, oh no, I've made the wrong attack, and I thought, well, that'd be nice to rewind, because it all went horribly wrong. But well, whether I would have rewinded it or not, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so that was okay. Right, and then the advance after combat, but I think we've got away with it. Some of you might have noticed this one. Maybe, actually, there was a bridge there. He come across a bridge. Okay, although he's into zone of control. Both the units advanced into the hex, Ufe. This one first, select a number 2 from here, and then the other unit from there. Both mechanised units though, so they do have the opportunity, maybe, of advancing a second hex. And I think I've done it before where I've just kind of forgotten about it. However, one of them come across an unbridged river, select a number 2, so I'm pretty sure he's got to stop. Yeah, so 2 hex advance, 12.81. Attacking mechanised units may advance 2 hexes if the defender conducted a 2 hex retreat or was eliminated. First must be the vacated hex. Select a number 2, yeah, did that. And then the second, I almost missed the bit that I wanted. The first must be the vacated hex. Unit must stop if crossed unbridged river. So he did. He came across an unbridged river. He's got to stop. However, this guy came across a bridge and then took that bridge. So the second, maybe any hex. Now, hold on. There's not something there though as well. Crossing a bridge after combat, and he's moving into a zone of control. I think he has to stop as well. Hang on. Yeah. No, I'm not quite right. There's only, if there was 2 units wanting to advance across that bridge, only one can advance across a bridge if it's entering an allied zone of control. So even if the hex is friendly occupied. So that was fine then. Okay, so let's see if he can make a second advance then. So, right, and the thing is, yeah, he is going to be able to, if he wants to, because he's following the path of retreat, and this is a road into this forest, and it doesn't matter about going in zone of control to zone of control. So, we just need to know what is that hex. It's a That's a primary arrow, isn't it? Yeah, it's a wee bit masked by the VP sign. So I think now he's not going to be surrounded in that hex, is he? Yeah, so I think 2x advance. The second may be any hex when deviating from the path of retreat. No, the second may be any hex, but when deviating from the path of retreat. Well, he's not deviating, is he? Because that unit went retreat. So he's not deviating. So, yeah, and a unit advancing 2 hexes deviates from the path of retreat to take forward direction if able, if not follow path of retreat. Well, that is a forward direction and the path of retreat. So, and that would be an automatic move into there because it was a forward primary arrow with no units advanced in. So, in actual fact, yes, he should have advanced into that hex. And like I say, there's not. It's not a surrounded hex. He's still got. Yeah, well, in fact, this guy's dispersed as well, so he's still got 2 hexes. So, yeah, so I think that should have happened. So that was. I didn't think they were going to advance, but there you go. So another little blunder. So maybe some of you spotted this. I just left a wee note at the beginning saying if you wanted to point them out, then feel free. So interesting to see if any of you grabbed that. I also noticed while I was looking at this that our second armour buddies now are surrounded as well. Now surrounded that way, they're like, there's a lot of nastiness going on here. This guy now being where he is as well. Well, it's 3. Well, he can actually move into there, can't he? It's 3. Oh, yeah, he can reach way, can't he? Because it's 3 to go into the woods hex. Remember, that guy's dispersed. 4, 5. So he's actually in range of way. After me, remember, I was going to put that 7-core bracketed unit down into there as well, and I chose to put them up there, thinking that there wasn't any danger of way falling. But now look at it, and we'll need to be very wary of that, because that gives them another 5 victory points then. Well, maybe this game will end sooner than later. Okay, so that brings me down to one last thing. Yeah, which I found kind of interesting. And I was just watching over things and wondering about, this assault coordination basically on the combat tactic. So it was brought up a while back that where are we here, Grant? You brought the page up. Hang on a sec. Okay, so our situation was where we're activating the first SS, and we were making this attack on Ufi. I'll not go back, I'll just talk about it. Now, the odds came down to it. Well, we had this card in the support card box, right? Showing artillery and assault coordination. Right? So within 9.5, when we are doing our check, it says to include right, all other active units that have not yet attacked in the current and are adjacent to target hex, including units with just 1 step, right? It says include all active German reserved units that could be legally placed. It says it there about them being legally placed, but like I said, it didn't mention them in that movement phase. But so fair enough, we checked that, and none of them were able to move. And then, if the support card shows the assault coordination combat tactic, include all non-active German units adjacent to the defender. Okay, so we look at the support card, we see we've got assault coordination, and bear in mind, it's not just assault coordination, it's artillery and assault coordination. In the support card box, so we say, okay, we can include all the guys. So once we include all the guys, the odds go way up to like 3 to 1, don't they? Giving it a good shot at the combat going ahead. So then it comes down to we draw a combat tactic. So we've decided that this attack's going ahead, we're going to draw a combat tactic. Now, in the past, and before we got confirmation from John Butterfield, I kind of felt, although Martin didn't, and he ended up getting it right, so fair enough, I kind of felt that if you drew artillery or assault coordination, right, you were only drawing half of that combat tactic, if you like. You're only drawing one of them. So when it says within, it's 12 point something, isn't it? It's alright. Hang on. Yeah, 12.31 German bonus combat tactic. If during a non-overwhelming German attack, the support card lists a combat tactic that combat tactic may be applied to the attack in addition to the normal combat tactic draw. This bonus combat tactic is awarded to the first German attack to which it applies, and the support card is then discarded. The bonus combat tactic is awarded only if it provides a benefit to the attacker other than additional chip draw. I'm reading you something that I'm not wanting to be reading. That's not what I wanted, was it? Hang on. Yeah, sorry, it was further back, closer to the start of 12.3, right? So when you're drawing German combat tactics, draw one German card and apply the combat tactic listed on the card. And if there is a card in the support card box listing a combat tactic different from the drawn card and applicable to the current combat, apply the support card's combat tactic. So, like I say, my argument back in the day was that, okay, I've got artillery and assault coordination there. Let's draw a combat tactic. I draw this card, I get artillery. So, and this is how I played it initially. So I play that for artillery, but then I look at the support card and I say, well, that's got artillery, but it's also got assault coordination. I say, that's not identical to me. I'm playing that for assault coordination as well. And it benefits because you're getting assault coordination, you're also losing that, the Germans lose a hit with assault coordination, and all they get from that artillery is an additional chip pool, but the point was that it was given assault coordination. However, Martin asked the question, if the combat tactics on the support card is identical to the combat tactics you draw, you don't use the former. Is that also true if the support card is an army card where one of the combat tactics is identical but the other isn't? And John Butterfield came back and eventually answered this. The rules as written are not clear on this point, so I'm choosing to be consistent with enemy action Kharkov. In order for any of a support card's tactics to be applied, all tactics on the card must be applicable. If any tactics are not applicable, then none are applied. So like, okay, we've got that one sorted, that's smashing. We eventually sussed that one out. So he did say it wasn't that clear, and it's not. You could see it going either way. However, that's what he said, but here's where the plot thickens. We didn't draw this, right? We drew infantry infiltration for our combat tactic. So that's not a problem. We can play this now because it's got artillery and assault coordination, which doesn't match. None of them match that, so we can play that. However, okay, so it's went fine. We've not done anything wrong. But what if I'd drawn this card? What if I'd drawn this card for artillery? Because then I can't play this. I can't play this card. So we're already into the combat here. We've turned guys sideways. We're in. Well, to be honest, we're going to have to go back and turn some guys not sideways anymore because this card's not coming in. So we're not getting assault coordination. Going by how that's now, how we're now reading that and how John's confirmed that. So But what happens there then? Because now the odds are way back. My guess is, but there's another snag to this. My guess is that, okay, you're not getting 3-to-1 odds. You're now maybe getting 1-to-1 odds, and you're not getting all these chip pools. You're not getting the units. That would be my guess. However, I also read a 9.5. Yeah, it's 9.5, and it's conduct valid attack. So it says upon determining that an attack is valid, this is within the attack determination, right? So upon determining that an attack is valid, conduct the attack in accordance with the procedures in 12.0. Okay, not the best time to have a disconnection there. So I was just finishing off the important bit that I was talking about, conduct valid attack. So I've read it all, and the last sentence is, all German units included in the calculation participate in the attack. So we've calculated all the units going by the assault coordination card that was in the support card box, and now if we draw this artillery card for the combat, we can't then use that assault coordination, which means that we can't. So something's not right. You either don't use the units, or that part that I've just read out here, all German units including the calculation participate in the attack. So there's some kind of sort of loophole sort of bit there that's there's a gap there somewhere that you either do one or the other. I mean, if we're using all the units, we've got to use the assault coordination, but going by the rules that card says we don't use the assault coordination, I wouldn't be sure what happened. So it's just I was thinking about it after the fact. Like I say, we didn't draw this for the combat tactic. We drew infiltration anyway, so that was irrelevant. Obviously, if we had drawn an assault coordination, everything would have been fine. We wouldn't have had artillery in the battle, but everything would have been fine. But if we had drawn artillery, what would happen there? So there you go. There's a good one, unless I'm missing something. Right, okay, enough of all that. I got a phone call there again which cut off. I'll try and edit that wee bit then. But I was basically finished and having my wee rant about that bit up there. But curious to know your thoughts on that one, guys. Right, back to the Allies. Yes, and again, I was talking about I'd love to activate the 12 Corps, get the situation down at R1 tidied up now, because we almost had a scare where if the glare there, if the units had activated the 7th Army, they might have headed on down towards R1, so we need to want to get this unit along, and I'd like to have a go at this unit. However, as I said the last time, there's a problem. And I pointed this one out just when it was when that advance after combat, the unit being able to advance the second hex, wasn't it? Yeah, so this unit being in here, and the fact this unit doesn't exert a zone of control at the moment. 3. Oh no, hang on. I have got that wrong. He's breaking zone of control. Don't think I counted that first, did I? So it's actually 4 movement for him to get into this Woods hex. So he isn't going to make it. I wonder if that means I can then take that chance and activate 12 Corps. I think I probably could. I mean, there's nothing that'll let him move that extra movement point into Hui, so. And I would like to get that cavalry moved in, just in case they get another unit the other side of that unit beside R1, and then I can't move it in. Okay, so I thought I was going to possibly deploy the 5th Armour or the 5th Corps units. We should also have our last activation was But it was 7 core, wasn't it? We used the army card, but we chose 7 core. So we won't be able to activate them again. Now, actually, yeah, we'll also have one of these green cubes on, no, there's not any there, on the 5th core units. Because they became active as well, the 2 that were underneath with the army card. But you know what, it's not going to matter. I wouldn't be activating the 5th core this turn if I wanted to. I might want to activate 7th core, but I can't anyway. Okay, well I think I will do the 12 core bit then. And we'll just leave that just now. Yeah. Okay, I was just pondering there about the 21st Army group card and just the fact of getting the bonus combat tactics and possibly being able to reinforce battle, but I thought I could bring these guys down to reinforce an attack here, but this guy's stopping that from happening, so... Right, let's just go back to original plan, Grant. Right, so I'm gonna activate 12 core. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so first off, there's no detachments adjacent to any of them, is there? No. Right. First off, I'm going to get this cavalry along into R1, I think, so 1, 2, and 3 into there. Yeah, I think I want to do that, because these guys are coming down. They're on the way sometime soon. The other move I was pretty sure about was moving this infantry 1, 2 and 3 into here, because that way we get this unit surrounded. So when we make an attack, plus that extra 3, I think was giving us 6 to 1 odds. We've got 7 there and another 9 there, so that's 16. So 16, that would only been 5 to 1, but encoding that unit is a 6 to 1 extra chip pool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that'd be 6 chip pools. We could maybe chuck in something. Maybe that British Corps air power card. Right, anyway, we've still got these 2 units. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with them. Part of me feels like just bringing them along. I'd need to stop right adjacent to... Well, I can't get adjacent to both the detachments, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a real pity I couldn't reinforce the battle, because I could have brought these infantry up to here, and that would have been 9 strength, and I think that's an R10, so I could have been bringing 19 strength in on that. I do have a tank battalion, but I think that was the reason to consider using the army card, because I would get the card, I would get the bonus tactic on the army card, but however I can't get a reinforced battle down into here because of this zone of control, and here and moving into here is 3, 6. So it's a pity. Okay, well I think I'll just move them 1, 2 into there. Yeah, adjacent to the detachment. Yeah. So I'll go with that. Okay, so there's only going to be 1 combat. I'm not taking this on. No, I think that's silly. Just go with it. Just go for this guy. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to attack this guy. That's 7 and another 9. 16, so 19. So, like I say, 19 to 3, 6 to 1, yeah. So 6 to 1. Not sure about the cards yet. Because like I say, we're just under the large attack, aren't we? We're only six chip pools at the moment. So do we want to play? Like I say, a reinforced battle's not really any good. I suppose I could reinforce with this. What would that give me? What did I say I had? 19, that'd be 21. Ooh, that does up the odds to 7. Thing is, if I was going to reinforce the battle, I'd be as well using all this, wouldn't I? Just moving into there. That brings elites into the battle too. Yeah, I was almost about to play this reinforced battle and bring them in, but have I not got good enough odds? 6 to 1 odds, 6 chip pools. I know it's not the large attack, but you know, that's just dependent on you drawing that chip. Wait you see, you know what's going to happen now. However, maybe what about the air power? What about using the British division card for the air power? Again, I'm spending far too long making these decisions. I'm going to do this. Cause it is just a division card, so yeah, I know we could probably have used it for something, but yeah, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play that for air power, and just it also gives us a large attack. 6 to 1 odds is enough. I didn't need to bring more odds in the, well, we shall see, but okay, going to go with that now. Don't think they can get a defender because he's surrounded. Know that he's got anybody to match anyway, but he is going to get a draw combat tactic. This is where we are looking for reinforced battle because he's surrounded. So, right, here we go. That's definitely all we're doing, isn't it? 6 to 1 odds, 7 chip pools. Right, yeah, so let's get a German card. Assault Coordination, that'll do. Just for attackers, Assault Coordination. Now, that is a primary 53rd Corps card. That one doesn't shuffle in though, it's just a smaller core, right enough. So that isn't going to do them any good. Good. Right, so here we go. Maximum of 7 chip pools, minimum of 2. We have armour, we don't have elites. He does not have armour though. He's in the woods. We're flanking him. Like I say, he is surrounded, so if he does have to if we get one retreat out of him, he's retreating and taking step wall, so that's good. Right, I'll get the first 2 and we'll see where we stand. Well, I was just wanting to show you the first chit. Look, it's large attack. However, I forgot that some of the large attack, I don't know if they're all, have the priority of allied air power. And we've played air power, so in actual fact, that is worse. Because we could have had an A-1 and a D1, but because the priority is air power, and we played air power, and we played the air power to get the large attack, we have to have it on that side. I mean, it's still doing a G, well, it's a G1, which is the Germans take 1 hit. But the other side would have been better because the Germans would have been taking 1 hit and we would have been reducing 1 hit to us. Which is kind of ironic to like have that card to benefit from the large attack, but not actually get the benefit. However, okay, and the second chit is, oh no, it's terrain. Oh damn! It's in the woods. The The other side was worse. It's a D-2 on the forest, but oh well. That's just negated that. Right, well, I'm going to get the other 5, yeah. I was about to say before I started drawing these, I'm not drawing anymore yet. It's been a long time since I've drawn a blue chit. A lot of the chits set aside, there's no blue chits at all. I'm not saying they're all bad. There's a 3-1 one, isn't there, which is good, but there's a terrain one which is horrible as well. So anyway, right, let's get the other 5. Not good. Got another wood shit. 1-1, and then got another wood chit, which was benefiting me. It's a hit to us as well, but I think that does it balance out to? Oh, we're getting 1 hit on them, but 2 hits on ourselves, I think, isn't it? Even more so, that large attack would have took one of the hits away from us, but well, right, let's work it out. Yeah, 1 hit on them, 2 to us. Not a good result at all for what we had there. That just didn't go to plan. However, okay, so the 1 hit on them, well, it's not an automatic retreat for them. I guess I think all mechanised. None of them go bracketed, do they? If he reduces again, what's the number? Oh, he's a Fuhrer Grenadier, yeah. No, he doesn't go bracketed with his last step, So we've got 1 hit, he's got 2 steps, so he's not going to automatically retreat. He won't become bracketed, so it's a hold check. So the whole value of the hex is, it's 2. The steps are 2, that's 4. Not across the river. If defending units unable to trace reserve supply, that is correct. So what did we have? We had 4 there, so that's a -2, so it's back to 2. And then if all retreat routes would require an extra step loss, it does, because I've got him surrounded and he's no allied unit adjacent. Friendly unit adjacent. So that's a +2 again. And then if they've already retreated, so what did I get there? +4. It's +4, +2. It's +4. So the whole check's 4. If we get less or equal to 4, we apply a step loss. Otherwise, retreat 1 hex. But he's going to take the step loss on retreat. So I want him to retreat, don't I? Yeah. So I basically need greater than a 4, don't I? Let's see. Let's zoom out a bit there. Right, so greater than a 4, hopefully. Dear. It's one of them days. Right, so that was less than the whole chance. Let's double check that. That was less than or equal to the whole chance, so apply a step loss. So he just sits there and takes a step loss. Nah. I think it's replacement unit. And that's his 1 hit. And then we've got to take 2. Yeah, well, I'm not going to disperse on us, so I'm going to take 1 there. No, I don't want to do that. So it's going to be 2 infantry units. There's number 10 down the bottom, so take him. Yeah. So yeah, 1 in each infantry unit there, take the 2. And no advance after combat. No other combats. That's us done. I'll tidy the chits away and I'm gonna have a cut here because this this part of videos have been chopped twice with a couple of phone calls, so I'm gonna get that sorted sometime soon. Try and get another phone. It seems silly trying to record video. It just cuts it off. I don't know if there's maybe a way around about it, but okay, so I'll tidy things up here, and well, we've got to draw back up to our hand size first and then the German impulse, but I'll be back with that soon, guys. Okay, cheers.